Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Gotta give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, the Most High, the Heavenly Father. His Hebrew name is Yahweh, not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua. It's Yahweh Shai. So gotta give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rikah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether they can accept it or not. And a sincere salutation to all the Akim, pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the outlaws who are listening and learning, the few sisters who are listening and learning. I'm Isaiah from Jim Messolano Camp coming into another lesson in true facts, faith, and edification, another daily edification. Lord's willing, is be edifying. Now, I titled this lesson, Satan and Lucifer are not the same. Lucifer, Satan is the father, Lucifer is the seed of Satan. Lord willing, be edifying. Now, as a young brother, the head brother of our camp did a lesson because a young brother came on the comment board of our live stream Saturday, and he asked about, is Lucifer real? So people believe through plantation Christianity that Lucifer and Satan are the same entity, which they are not. Lucifer, the spiritual demon, Satan, is the father of the so-called white man, the Edomites. Okay, if you can understand. So Lucifer, which they call themselves Luciferians. Okay, these are the seeds of the physical demon Satan. It's all through the spirit of the Heavenly Father Yahweh. So, Lord willing, don't take that long, but if it do, so be it. So the head brother and I Camp did a video on it. So I'm just now backing off the brother because this is what our people believe, man. They believe Satan and Lucifer are the same, and they're not. The spiritual demon Satan has a fleshly seed on the earth that's carrying out all his works, man, all his wicked deeds on the earth, man. Okay? The same way how the Heavenly Father Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shah, the Heavenly Father Yahweh has a seed on earth. First, it was his only begotten son. He has a seed on earth that's carrying out his righteous deeds. And Satan has a seed on earth that's carrying out his evil deeds. The Lord wouldn't be edifying. So I'm going to start with Genesis 3. Because what you have to understand is there's a group of people, there's a nation of people that control the entire planet. They control everything on the earth. Okay? So we're going to start with Genesis 3 and 15. And it reads, this is Genesis chapter 3 and verse 15. You have to understand, you got to open your mind up. First off, you have to the Lord got to open your mind up. But when you listen to brothers, you have to open your mind up to these things, man. So this is Genesis 3 and 15. And it reads, let's read 14. And the Lord Yahweh said unto the serpent, see, it's a seed line of people. It's a seed line. It's called the serpent seed line. And the Lord Yahweh power said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shall thou go. Meaning the word belly means they're going to be the basis of men. They're going to be the lowest. On thy belly shall thou go, and dust shall thou eat all the days of thy life. Dust means confusion. Everywhere they go at, that brings confusion. Okay? That's what dust represents, confusion. Babylon, the word Babel, meaning confusion. You can go read in Genesis, the 11th chapter. Okay? So, as a matter of fact, let's get it right here, real quick. This is Genesis 11 and verse 6. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go, go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not all understand one another's speech. So, the word Babel means to confound, confusion. Okay? So, back to Genesis 3 and 15. They had to make that point. Genesis 3 and 15. This is what he's saying to the serpent, which is not a snake. It's not a snake, man. It's a man. The word that serpent, when you look at the word serpent, it means to be cunning, conniving, trickery. Okay? They say the same thing when you read Ephesians 6, the wiles of the devil, which is cunning, crafty, trickery, right? They say, and I will put enmity between thee and the woman. Now, he can't be talking to Satan and Eve because Eve doesn't have seed. Only a man have seed. You have to understand this. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. So the Lord's saying, I'm going to put enmity between your seed and between her seed, which is talking about her meaning the nation of Israel. There's a separation between the Israelites and the seeds of Satan. When you go to Genesis 27, it explains that to you. Okay? We gotta dissect this slowly. Because there's still new ones waking up like the brother. I think his page name is BH, a capital B, capital H. Because he asking how can he join our camp, and I was telling him, hey, you gotta eat the whole roll. I told him Exodus, Ezekiel chapter 2, Ezekiel chapter 3, you gotta eat the whole roll, then you gotta come out with your Bible, bring your highlighters, come out and listen for 6 months to a year. And I said, Lord willing, you might can come in. It's according to the Lord, but you got to come out every Saturday on top of every Saturday. So anyway, it said, I'm going to put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. Okay, so that's a separation the Lord made. Now, let's get this real quick. This is Genesis 27. We have Genesis 25 and 21, because we got to understand the separation between Satan's seed and the woman's seed. You got to understand this. This is Genesis 25 and 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. Now the Lord telling her it's going to be twins. You have twins, but they're going to be two nation of people. Okay, this goes back to Genesis chapter 3 and 15, when the Lord say, I'll put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It say, two nations shall be in thy womb, two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. The Israelites and the seeds of Satan are two separate people. Okay, they wasn't meant to be joined together as one nation together, man. Right? It said, when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red. Red, not white, red. Meaning they have no pigment, or lack of melanation. They have lack pigment, so they are different shades of red and pink, because they have no pigment, and blood shall forth through their skin. Therefore, it leaves them different shades of pink, different shades of red tone. Okay, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when he bare them. Now, You got to understand, there's a group of people, there's a nation of people that controls the entire planet. I don't care about the Chinese because they in China. I don't care about the Japanese because they in Japan. I'm talking about it's a nation of people that control the entire planet. This is Genesis 27. I'm gonna read the point. Genesis 27 and verse 38. And it reads, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessed my father, bless me, even me also. O my father, and Esau lifted up his voice and wept. That's why I tell you Hebrews 12 that though he saw the carefully with tears, they cannot find repentance. Verse 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Okay? Thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. It said, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shall thy live. So Isaac blessed Esau and told him his dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Right? They're going to be able to, that's why they can go, that's why they have over, I'm talking about North America now, Babylon the Great, have over 800 military bases around the world, and all they do is take the resources, the minerals, okay? Because their blessing was to live by the sword, which is their military power, okay? That's why we try to tell Jake, you can't have more guns than Esau. It's impossible. And they done with guns. They can kill you with drone strikes, man. They can kill you with bio warfare. They doing it. They've been doing it for a while, putting it in the food. Okay, there's a nation of people that control the planet, and it's the serpent seed line. It said that Satan has a physical seed on earth. The Lord said, "I'm gonna put enmity between thy seed and her seed." So that means Satan, the serpent, has a physical seed on earth that's carrying out all his wicked deeds. We're gonna deal with all the precepts to bring it out, and it's gonna be plain. It should be plain to you. Nah, it say, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. Now, talking about heaven, what is in the spiritual realm, where the Most High Yahweh and His Son at heaven, the sky with the clouds is known in the heaven. Then you got the outer realm of the earth, which is known as a heaven, where their space station is at. Okay, because they can't go past the Van Allen belt or the Orion's belt. So all these different parts of earth is a heaven. The earth on ground and the skies. They can control everything about the grounds of earth and the skies, man. They have the biggest military. And we know it is, hey, they have 5 branches of military, man. Oh, now they got a 6th branch because they created a space force. Because they know Yahweh and the angels is coming. But anyway, so these people control the fatness of the earth, right? Now, this is Job chapter 9 and 24. You got to listen to the context of the precepts. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judge thereof. If not, where and who is he? The main 2 judges of the earth is the heavenly Father Yahweh and his only begotten Son Yahushua. Right? I was mentioning this the other day. We bring it out all the time. So it said the earth was given to the hand of the wicked. So if the earth was given to the hand of the wicked and they covered the faces of the judges, who are the judges? It ain't talking about Chinese and Japanese judges. It said the earth was given into his hand. Yahushua, the heavenly Father Yahweh and Yahushua. When you look at it, when you pull up on Google, the 16th chapel, they got the finger of God touching the finger of Adam. They are what? So-called white people, right? He covered the faces of King David, Solomon, Moses. Every show they 10 commandments, the Israelites is all white, so-called white people. Who did this? It's only one nation of people. And I say this all the time because it say, if not, where and who is he? There's no Chinese Jesus. There's no Japanese Jesus. There's no African Jesus. There's no Elamite, no Persian Jesus. Okay? There's no Pakistani Jesus. There's no Arab Jesus. There is only a white, so-called white Jesus. Okay? There's only a so-called white Jesus, which came about during the Renaissance. And I'm going to read that in Revelation 20. There's only a so-called white Jesus. So it said, the earth was given to the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where? Who is he? So if the Chinese didn't do it, or the Japanese, or the Arabs, or the Pakistanis, these Persians, the Iranians, if they didn't do it, who covered the faces of the judges? There's only one nation of people that did it. Now, knowing that the earth was given to the hand of the wicked, right? When you go to Malachi 1, it tell you that who are the wicked. Let's read this. I wasn't going to read it, but let's just bring it out for edification. It's Malachi 1 in verse 2. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hath the Lord loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? We just read about Esau, Genesis 27, how he's going to have the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven. Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. This is a future prophecy. And going back to Mount Seir, even the Caucasus Mountain, man. Okay, it was laid waste. Their habitation was desolate, man. That's why I tell you in Job 30, they was eating juniper roots for their meats. And they braided like horses. They sound like horses and donkeys, man, and pigs. They couldn't talk. Okay? Talking about the cave dwellers now. The word Caucasian means cave dweller, which they come from Mount Seir to they went from Mount Seir to the Caucasus Mountain. Now, it said, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh host, they shall build, but I will throw down, which they did build when they conquered the world. When they came out of the caves on their last run to take over, when they took over the earth in the mid 1400s, 13 to 1400s. It say, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. When they came back into power, it's called the Renaissance, okay, meaning rebirth, right? You got the Renaissance era called a rebirth. That's when they came back into power. Then they got a thing called iconoclasm, which is whitewashing. That's when they whitewashed all the images, because when they went down, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians took over the earth for 1,000 years. Okay, for 1,000 years, Negroes took over the earth. So they was in a cave. They were shut up for 1,000 years. When they came out of the cave after the 1,000 year rule of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, they came out and they did a thing called iconoclasm, which is whitewashing. That's why Job 9:24 say he covered the face of the judges. Renaissance meaning rebirth of the so-called white man. Okay, we're going to deal with that in Revelation 20. Now I say, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, the border of wickedness, the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. Now, this is Isaiah, because we're dealing with, you got to understand who's the wicked. The Lord say there's the wicked people on the earth. The earth was given into the hand of the wicked. You got to understand what it is talking about. This is Isaiah 34 and verse 5. And it reads, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven, meaning the rulership. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. Idumea is the Greek word for Edom. And upon the people of my curse to judgment. So the Lord said the Idumeans is the people of his curse to judgment, right? Now listen to this. Remember what it just said. The people of his curse to judgment. This is Proverbs 3 and 33. It reads, the curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked. These are the same two people. The ones that's cursed and the wicked are the same people. The Idumeans, okay? Edom, the so-called white man. The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, okay? Now, if you with me thus far, you should be seeing a picture. This is, now listen to what Yahweh Shah said. I'm going to hit this, then I'm going to go through these other precepts. This is Matthew 22 and 16. Listen to what Yahweh Shah said carefully. This is Matthew 22 and 16. And they sent out unto him their disciples with the Herodians, saying, Master, they approaching Yahweh Shah with that serpent guile, man, right? This is the Pharisees and Sadducees. And they sent out to him their disciples. Matter of fact, let's read 15 so you can understand. Matthew 22 and 15. Then went the Pharisees and took counsel how they might entangle him in his talk. And that's what these vocab Malones try to do today. But you can't, man. Because as the scriptures say in Ecclesiastes 24 and in 1 Peter 2, hey, them that follow the ways of Yahweh Shema Shah cannot be confounded. Then went the Pharisees and took counsel how they might entangle him in his talk. And they sent out unto him the disciples with the Herodians, saying, Master, we know that thou art true, and teachest the way of God in truth. Neither carest thou for any man. See, this is how they try to take him right here. Neither carest thou for any man, for thou regardest not the persons of men. Verse 17. Tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? But Yahweh shall perceive their wickedness and said, why tempteth ye me, ye hypocrites? Listen, this is how cold Yahweh shall is. Hey, because he's making a point for us today, man. Verse 19, Matthew 22 and 19. Follow me along. He said, show me the tribute money. And they brought unto him a penny. I need to find a penny. Anyway, it's okay. And he said unto them, Salakia, Matthew 22 and 19 again, show me the tribute money. And they brought unto him a penny. And he said unto them, who is this image and superscription? They said unto him, Caesar's. Then said he unto them, render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto God the things which are God's. The point I am making, during the time of Yahweh, when he said, bring me the penny, who images on the money, man? What did they tell him? It say Caesar's. Caesar's face is on the money. What was Caesar? Was he not an Edomite, a so-called white man, right? This is Yahweh showing us who was in rulership at the time. Hey, because at that point they didn't know, man. That's why in Rome, which I'm going to read, 2 Thessalonians 2, Paul wrote, hey, in his time, he's going to be revealed, man. You see, Yahweh knew who they was, man. Okay? He said, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Now, the reason I bring out this precept a lot, because he said, show me a penny. Whose image on it? Whose image is on our money today? The same people been in rulership, okay? From starting to Alexander the Great, right? Alexander the Great, then the Roman Empire, then they fell for 1,000 years, right? Then they came back in the rulership in the mid 1300s. And they've been in the rulership ever since. So whose face is on the money? It's the so-called white man's face, man. Yahweh was telling us right here who was ruling back then, right? We got books. I got the book in there right now. It's called the Empire, the Empire of the Edomites, the Roman Empire, the Empire of the Edomites. Okay, Rome was ruling. So going back into who controls the planet. Let's move on. This is Isaiah 14. Now, in the Christian, in the holy houses, they always read this verse alone. When you go to Isaiah 14, this verse started at verse 5. Let's deal with it. When you read, matter of fact, it started at verse 4, Salakia. Because Isaiah 14 from 1 to 4, from 1 to 3, is talking about Israel when we come back in the rulership and we're going to take all the other nations and put them in captivity. So Isaiah 14 starting at verse 4 on down is talking about who was in power of the earth and how they are going to fall. Let's read. Isaiah 14 and 4. That thou should take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. Okay, this ain't talking about ancient Babylon. It's talking about the modern day, the Babylon the Great. Thou should take up this parable against the king of Babylon and say, how have the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased, right? It say the Lord have broken the staff of the wicked. You see that? The Lord have broken the staff of the wicked, meaning their rulership, their empire is going to collapse, just like the ancient Roman Empire. The Lord have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. Listen to this. It say, he who smote the people in wrath with a continuous stroke. Listen to this. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. It say that ruled the nations. Okay? Babylon the Great didn't rule all the nations on the earth, man. The ancient Babylon. It say he, which he was a great kingdom, right? If it was, the Medo and Persian Empire wouldn't have took him down. It say he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. This is a future prophecy, man. This ain't talking about ancient Babylon. Listen, it said the whole earth is at rest and is quiet that break forth into singing. The Babylonian Empire went down by the Medo and Persian Empire. The Medo and Persian Empire went down by the Greeks, starting with Alexander the Great. It say the whole earth is at rest. What is it talking about? This talking about when Yahweh shall come and conquer all the nations, all 17 heathen nations. When the Lord conquered them, the earth shall be at rest. You see, this is talking about their fall. You can't just read Isaiah 14 and 12. You got to start at verse 4. Listen, verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet that breaketh forth into singing. What does it say in First Maccabees 1? When it say Alexander the Great, it tell you that he conquered every nation, that the whole earth was at rest, right? Matter of fact, let's get it. It's First Maccabees 1 and 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shittim, or Kittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that reigned in his stead, the first over Greece. Listen to this. And made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth. All the known kings in the known world, he slew them, right? And went through the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him. This is my point. Same thing is saying in Isaiah 14. It's saying, went through the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him. Whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up. You see that? Now, going back to Isaiah 14. Because see, this is going to happen again when the Edomites fall. The earth is going to be quiet because the earth will be back in rulership, in righteous rulership. It say, Isaiah 14 and verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. You see that? This is what Alexander the Great did. He made the earth quiet because he's conquered all the kings. He slew all the kings. Verse 8. Yeah, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon. When Darius and Mede took over Babylon, the trees wasn't rejoicing. When Alexander the Greek took over the Medo and Persian Empire, the trees wasn't rejoicing. This is talking about at the end when Yahweh established that rock that was cut out without hands, right? That broke the statue in pieces. This is when the earth going to be at rest and the trees shall rejoice. Okay? Because it tell you that no wicked fellow shall cut them down again, man. It say, because you got certain trees you supposed to let stay up and certain trees you can cut down to build with, man. You don't supposed to just cut down all the trees, man. It say, yeah, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us. What fellow is talking about? It's talking about him that wieldeth the axe, man, that held the chainsaw, man. Okay. It say, verse 9, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming, which is what? That pit, man. They finna go into the pit, man. Tell it in Isaiah 24. They finna go in the pit, man. They finna be bound with chains. That's Psalm 149, man. It say, it stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. Because, as I tell you in Jeremiah 51, every nation is pissed off with these devils, man. Okay? Because they destroying the earth, taking the resources, cutting the trees down, taking the resources, taking the oil out the earth, which is all the heathen doing that. But these ones that's in control, we dealing with the ones the earth was given to their hand. They had a dominion over the earth. You gotta understand who this is. It say, again, it have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. Okay? Everybody is against this devil, man. Obadiah 1 and 7 tell you, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. What men of thy confederacy? If you go to Google, North America have 193 nations joined to them through the UN, man. Okay? 193 nations is joining North America. How? By the force of the sword. You're either going to get down or you're going to lay down. But you're going to get down one way or the other. Verse 10 say, all they shall speak and say unto thee. All who? All the other 16 heathen nations, man. It's 17 heathen nations. Esau, even the so-called white man, controls the other 16 nations through the force of the sword, which is the power from the Heavenly Father Yahweh. Bahashim Yahweh Shah. Verse 10 say, Isaiah 14 and 10. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? That's why I tell you in Joel 3, when it said what? Hey, they ain't weak no more. Let the nations that was weak, they are strong now. Because they got missiles too now. They got military might too now. So this is the other 16 heathen nations telling Esau, Edom, art thou? It said, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Which is what? Weak. Okay? Weak. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, meaning what? Your height, your power, your rulership, and the noise of thy vows. The worms is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. Now here come verse 12. After understanding Isaiah 14 all the way down to 11, now here come verse 12. Now you understand why the ashes is falling. It say, verse 12, how art thou fallen from heaven? Heaven means rulership, your kingdom. What's the saying? This is the white man's heaven and the black man's hell, right? That's the saying. How art thou fallen from heaven? This is the white man's heaven, right? So-called white man's heaven. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? Lucifer just means light bearer, the ones that give you that false wisdom of life. They tell you don't have to follow the ways of the so-called white man. Let's make a point. This is Job, right? This is Job chapter 10. Listen to this. This is Job 10 and 21. Before I go whence I shall not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death. Listen to this. This is important. Verse 22. A land of darkness as itself, and of the shadow of death without any order, and where the light is as darkness. Here in Babylon the Great, you can do whatever you want to do under their laws. You don't have to follow the laws of the Lord, which is supposed to be the laws of the land. So here, you can do whatever you want to do. Okay, if you want to be if you want to be one of the LGBTQP, one of the transformers, you want to be bestiality, you want to commit adultery, you want to do drugs, you want to follow any religion, you could be a Muslim, Catholic, and a Protestant, whatever, and a Jehovah Witness. You could be all of that if you want to, man. It's up to you what you want to do. So it say, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, which is the light bearer, which is the ones that give you that false wisdom of life, that false hope, right? This is their wisdom on the left-hand side. Son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, which did weakest the nations? The spiritual demon Satan is a spirit. How can he weaken the nations? He have a physical seed here that's doing his wicked deeds. Verse 13 say, showing you this how you know this is a future prophecy. For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into the heaven, which they do. They only go so far up because they can't get past the Orion's belt, the Van Allen belt they call it, okay, which is the radiation belt that goes around the earth. They can't pass it, man. Okay. It said, for thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into the heavens, which they do. They got jets, helicopters, they got planes, right? They can shoot their rockets up, which go up and come back down. They got the space station, right? That's hovering up there. At night, you can see it. It's the brightest light in the sky. At nighttime, you can see the space. It's the brightest light in the sky, man. That's not a star. That's all them lights at the space station. Okay. When you go watch a movie called what's it called? Geo something with Russell Crowe. Okay, when he was over the space station, and how they used that harp machine, okay, from the space station to control the weather. I forget it's called Geo something. But anyway, it say, for thou hast sinned thy heart, I will ascend up into the heavens, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. You got to understand who's the stars of God here. It's talking about the Israelites. That's why I tell you was that the Revelation 12, when it say that the dragon took a third of the stars with his tail, the third of the stars that the dragon, which is the Roman Empire, it's not talking about some serpent. Nah, the elders always go into it. That serpent in Genesis 3 has been turned to a dragon. That was the Roman Empire. Okay, that's why I say that old serpent, that red dragon, meaning red, meaning the so-called white man, the Edomites. So the third of the stars that the dragon took with his tail is talking about Judah, Benjamin, and Levi when they took us down in 70 A.D. Who was in Jerusalem in 70 A.D.? So-called Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians. Most of the northern kingdom was already on this side of the world during this time. Okay, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, the third of the stars. So it say, for thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend above the heights of the cloud, I will ascend into the heavens, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. What's his throne? They control the earth with religion, man. These devils control the entire world with Roman Catholic religion, man, and every other religion after that. Roman Catholic is the number one religion on the planet right now, man. Go look it up. If you don't believe me, go pull up. It's called. You can go to Google and type in the religion list, and it'll give you a whole list. Start with the Roman Catholic Church, and then Christianity, Baptist. It's millions in it. I think it's billions in Catholic though. Listen, it say, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God, which is the Israelites overall, all 12 tribes. But first it started with Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation. This is talking about them controlling religion. The mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. Who controls the religion in North America? Esau Edom, the so-called white man. And you know the number one over here? TBN, man. The TBN network, man. Okay. And you got headmaster Masons that control it, like Billy Graham before he passed away. They all are Masons, man, that control the congregation in the south of the north, which is religion. First and foremost, is Catholic. Over here, they pushing Baptist real hard, man. But Baptist, Pentecostal, Protestant, Jehovah Wickedness, they all together in cahoots, man. That's what the word religion go back to the Greek word is religio, man. Right? This is how Esau Edom controls the earth, man. Through religion. It tell you in Revelation, out of the dragon's mouth came three unclean spirits, like frogs, right? These devils have, when you think about the EU and NATO, okay? You got EU, NATO, and you got North America. EU is the monetary, NATO is the military, and Babylon the Great, you have them joined together with Israel and Rome is the Christian. It's the religion, man. So it's religion, money, and military, man. The three unclean spirits, man, that control the planet Earth. And who controls them? Esau Edom, the so-called white man. You see? So Job 9:24 plays a whole lot, man. It plays a whole lot. And it's thousands of precepts that link with it. Let's move on. This is verse 14. Again, verse 13. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north, which is North America, Babylon the Great, first and foremost, because Great Britain controls the world from North America, man. Everything. North America is the biggest import and export, man, with everything. That's why I tell you in what is that, Ezekiel 28? By thy traffic have thy got much riches, man. Okay? It say verse 14, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, which they do, they technology, they science, right? Them being the smartest. It say, I will ascend above the heights of the cloud. I will be like the Most High. And that's what they doing now. They playing God, man. Heart surgery, right? This guy Elon Musk, giving people the brain chip, helping paraplegics walk, dementia, all the different things. They playing God, man. Okay, they've been doing the blood transfusion, changing brain implants, heart plants. giving you lungs and kidneys. This is them playing God, man, with all their science, right? Their technology that they're getting from Yahweh anyway. It say, verse 15, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell to the sides of the pit. This is when their kingdom is going to fall. That's why it's asking them, how art thou fallen? How are you falling? You have the greatest military on the planet. You have the world best technology, allegedly. You have the number one technology. That's why China trying to outdo them, man. Okay? How are you falling with the biggest military? You have over 800 military. And that was a couple years ago. They could have over 1,000 military bases around the world. How are you falling with the greatest military, with the best technology, right? You have the greatest science on planet. So how are you falling from heaven? How are you falling from your rulership with all this? It say, verse 16, this is how you know this is not talking about some spiritual demon. It say, verse 16, they that see thee, who see him? Everybody see him. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon him and consider thee, saying, is this the man? Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? How do they shake kingdoms? First and foremost, start with the rulership of Alexander the Great, man. I bring it out a lot. I say when his army was so vast, man, the ground used to shake when they went to go to war, man. He made the earth to tremble, man, by dropping what? The bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and there's other historical accounts that they destroyed nations, man. Okay? By what? Their way of military power, man. Start with Alexander the Great. It say, they that see thee shall never look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? Is this, how are you falling with all this power? Verse 17 is another cold point. That made the world as a wilderness. Who's cutting down all the trees? Building shopping malls, condominiums, plazas. Huh? Who cutting down all the trees? Esau Edom, the so-called white man. He controls the entire planet. It say that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the city thereof. How are they destroying the cities? Chemtrails, GMO foods, pollution in the air from driving cars with gas and oil, which should not be. It shouldn't be that, man. You polluting. That's why I tell you, Micah 2 and 10, arise you depart, for this is not our rest, because it is polluted. It will destroy us even with a sword destruction. So, and destroyed the city thereof. And it say that open not the house of his prisoners. Who own the prisons in Babylon the Great, North America? Who own the prisons? There's no Chinese and Japanese over here on the prisons. There's no black, so-called black, Negro, Latino, Native American that own prisons. Who own the prisons? And all across the four corners of the earth. Who controls the planet, man? Through their policies, their legislations, their democracy, their philosophies, their draconian laws, which go back to the dragon, the Roman Empire. It's the so-called white man. This is not hard, man. It's simple. Now, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and 13, and it reads, for such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Through who? His seed line. His seed line. We're going to come back to this. Let's get this. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. All you got to do is know the precepts, man. If you study and learn the precepts, it'll be clear to you the words that jump off the page at you, who controls the planet, who Lucifer is. This is 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first. We had to fall away from our heritage. That's why he told Jeremiah, okay? Jeremiah 7 and 4. And then when you read Acts chapter 1, verse 6, when the disciples asked the Lord, died this time, about to restore Israel, about to restore the kingdom to Israel, he told me it wasn't for them to know at that time, but they must prophesy, right? In Judea and Samaria and to the utmost part of the earth, which is over here in Babylon the Great and the islands around the world where Jacob scattered at. Okay, so it wasn't time for us then because the Lord said, y'all gotta go, y'all gotta come back in reincarnation on another side of the world, man, and push the gospel, right? So it said, let no man deceive you By any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first. So we had to fall away, right? Except there shall, it say, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Perdition is being destruction, man. Who's destroying the earth? Again, it's only one nation of people that's destroying the entire planet, man. Pollution, right? What they call burning fossil fuels and all this other madness, man. Uh, it done passed transformer law for LGBTQP. They got bestiality laws everywhere. You can do whatever you want to do. They done legalized marijuana. Jake out here just high and bugged out, man. Okay? It say verse 4. This is the point. Because when I read in 2 Corinthians 11, it said that transformed himself into an angel of light. This is 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4. Who opposeth, which is to be total opposite against the Lord. Right? That's why I tell you what that Isaiah 24, right? It said, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God. So it said, who opposeth, meaning when you look that word up, meaning to be opposite. Now hold on. This is Isaiah 24 and 5. If they so much Christians and just God-loving people, why did they change the laws of the Lord? The laws of the land. This Isaiah 24 and 5. Hey, the North American Indians showed them how to cultivate the land, showed them how to get vitamin C. They learned from the Indians, Salakia. They learned from Reuben and Gad. They showed and Issachar, and they showed them how to do the land. They had, man, Issachar and Gad and Reuben, they had an irrigation system, man. Esau came over here to conquist on the Spaniards and learned everything from Gadite and Reubenites and Issachar, and they killed them, man, after they learned their ways of the earth, man. Why are they not following it today? They said today the earth is overpopulated. How? The Lord said, be fruitful and multiply. They say the earth is overpopulated, so they got to create GMO foods. What? How is the earth overpopulated? If they killed millions of the buffaloes, which was the Reubenites and the Gadites' main source of food, man, and clothes. But they killed millions of the buffaloes, man. Why? This is the son of perdition. Let's listen. Isaiah 24 and 5. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. What inhabitants? The Job 9 and 24s, the ones who control the planet. Because they have transgressed the laws. You're supposed to have a land Sabbath. You grow in this spot for 6 years, and then on the 7th year, you let that rest, and you grow over here and let the mineral rejuvenate in the earth. They don't do that because they say the world is overpopulated. That's impossible. The earth cannot be overpopulated, man. Even with 7 billion people. And it could be more than that. That's just their numbers. It say, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore have the curse devoured the earth. What curse? What did the Lord tell Cain? The earth will not yield its full strength unto thee. Okay? It will not yield its full strength unto thee, man. It say that therefore have the curse devoured the earth. Because who's in rulership? The cursed people of the Lord, man. See, it's a difference. We under curses. We are not the cursed people. The cursed people is the cave dwellers. It say, therefore have the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. These devils is destroying the earth. Let's read the point. Verse 10 say, the city of confusion is broken down. What's confusion? Babylon, man. We read in Genesis 11. Babylon, man. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. This is the rulership of the seed line of Satan, man. Now let's go back to 2 Thessalonians. I want to make that point. The 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4, because it say, who oppose him, meaning he'd be total opposite against the Lord. That's why I read Isaiah 24 and 5, because this devil done changed the laws, man. He broke the ordinance. Who opposed him and exalted himself above all that is called God, or that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. There's only one nation of people that's playing this role, man. Right? It's a Verse 5, remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. And now ye know that what withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time. You see? And it's a for the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let, which is who? Yahweh Shema Shah. They let these devils do this because when you're reading Luke 21 and 24, they got to trot down the earth until the time of the Gentiles are fulfilled, man. They, hey, the water, hey, call out Yahweh Shema Shah, brother. They have to trot down the earth until the time of the Gentiles are fulfilled, man. So it say, for the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. They have to fulfill, they got to fulfill their quota, man. And then Yahweh Shah gonna come. Verse 8, it reads, and then shall the wicked be revealed. The Lord said in Jeremiah 49 and 10 that he will make Esau bare and he will uncover all his secret places. So now we know who they are. How do we know they are? According to their actions. Go to Google and pull up their track record. It tell you that, and that's just what we know from what Google say. They say, what is it, over 240 years over 240 years of them being in power, they have been in war for over 220 of those years. Come on, man. I think it's something like that on Google. Over 260 or 240 years, they have been in war for over 220 of them, man. It say, and then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. So first the word got to go out. He said through the four corners of the earth, and then shall the end come. Right? So it say, then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him, this is the cold kick, man. It say, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power. Who controlled the earth? The so-called white man. With all power and signs and lying wonders. Job 13:4 say, they are forgers of lies. They are physicians of no value, man. This devil, John D. Rockefeller, right? He took over Moderna. When he took over the medicine industry. I did a lesson on it about a few months ago. He took over the medical industry, right? John D. Rockefeller, and he banned all natural herbs and remedies, man. And he said if any doctor was found doing natural herbs, using natural herbs, which the Lord say use, he was gonna take their license. And if they tried to, because a lot of them was exposing it, he had them locked up, man. They were stripped from their license and they was locked away, man. So going back to Isaiah 24, he changed the ordinance, he changed the law, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant, man. The Chinese ain't did this. And the Japanese ain't do it because they don't have the power, man. It say even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth that they may be saved. So this devil is coming in the working of his father Satan, man. They are the physical seeds on earth of Satan, man. If you can't accept it, hey, it's in the precepts, man. You just got to read. Now, this is Psalms 51. This is Psalm 58 and verse 3. Because it's saying Job 13 and 4, right? They are all forgers of lies. They are physicians of no value, right? This is Psalm 58 and 3. The wicked, the Lord mentions, are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. They are poison, their philosophies, their policies, their legislations, their democracy, their draconian laws. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. What serpent? The serpent in the garden in Genesis 3, what you started with, man. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear, man. They are the serpent seed line. And they went from being a serpent to a dragon, man. It's a seed line of people. Okay? They speak lies. What did he do to Eve? From the time he spoke to Eve, what he was doing? Lying to her, man. You see? That's what the serpent did. They, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. This is who they are, man. This is who they are. So back in 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and 13, it reads, "For such as false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Through who? His seed line." I just read 2 Thessalonians 2 and 9. It say, "Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan," because this is his kids, man. These are his seed lines. It say, "And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light, that therefore it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed." Was it light bearers giving you that false sense of hope in life, which is not real wisdom? It's all fake and illusions and imaginations, man. Like I tell you in 2 Thessalonians 10. It said the truth is breaking down every stronghold, right? It say also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. Why? Because it said in 2 Thessalonians 2 and 9, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan. They come to do their father's bidding, man. Right? Now, this is this is Job chapter 2 and verse 1. Listen to this. "Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord." Right? Talking about the spiritual demon Satan. Verse 2. "And the Lord said unto Satan," because Satan is the son of Yahweh as well. He just on the left hand side. He's the top angel on the left hand side. Okay. "And the Lord Yahweh said unto Satan, From whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it." How can he do this if he's a spiritual demon? His people control the four corners of the earth. Let's read it. Psalms chapter 12 and verse 8. And it reads, this is Psalms 12 and 8. "The wicked walk on every side. The wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted." What he say? I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. Didn't he say that? Hold on. Let's prove that. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4. "Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God or that is worship." So he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. So when Yahweh asked Satan, "Where you came from?" this is what he said. Again, Job 2 and 2. "And the Lord said unto Satan, From whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it." The spiritual demon Satan can't do this. Okay? But he got what? He got physical seed here that can. Again, Psalms 12 and 8. "The wicked walk on every side," and we establish who the wicked is. "The wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted." Hold on. This is First Peter chapter 5 and 8. And it reads, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary," and that's what Satan means. The word Satan means adversary. "Because your adversary, the devil," and that's how cold it is. It say your adversary, the devil. Adversary means Satan. Devil means deceiver, diablos, right? Diablos, the Greek word is diablos, which is deceiver. So, because your adversary, who? Satan, and his seed, the devil, the deceivers, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. Because Satan can't do it by himself. He got to have his seed doing this, man. Okay? This is how the Lord set it up. This is Second Corinthians chapter 4 and 3. It reads, "But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not." Through what? through the wisdom of this world. I tell you in First Corinthians, man. First Corinthians 1 and 2. The wisdom of this world, man, which is foolishness to the Most High, but to the world, it's righteous. It's to the world, it's the right hand side of energy. Follow up, getting your masters or your bachelors or your associates or whatever degree it is out there. Okay, where you trying journalism, whatever it is you're trying to do, that's the right hand side energy that this devil pushed to us, man. But it's the left hand energy of the Lord. He said, please him by the foolishness of preaching, right? So it's saying, whom the God of this world, who's the God of this world? The spiritual demon Satan, right? But he can't control it. He have to have physical seed here doing it, man. Now it's a in whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not, least the light. When you look at this word light, it means illuminated ones, the real illuminated ones, which I'm going to read. It say, least the light of glorious gospel of a Mashiach, who is the image of power, shall shine unto them, right? So the Lord had to put that light on you. He had to tell you in Revelation 3, he had to open the doors of your mind up to this, right? Now, I got this pulled up. So let's put it up. I'm gonna show you real quick on Blue Letter. So let's pull this up. Let me make sure. So we're finna check this out real quick on the Blue Letter. Now let's go to yeah, let's get Second Corinthians. Get 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 3. Now it say, but if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not, least the light of the glorious gospel of a Mashiach, who is the image of power, should shine unto them. Let me make sure this sharing first of all. Make sure y'all can see this. Okay. Now, when you click on this right here, if you click on this, see what that word light mean right here. Because this is a different light. I'm going to show you this is a different light in 2 Corinthians 11 when they talk about how Satan have transformed into an angel of light. I'm going to show you this. See, it's important to look up these words. We can bring the precepts out to you, but we must bring out the words as well. Now, let's look up this light. It's G5462. Check this out.
Strong's G5462. Photismas.
Cause see, the real illuminated ones are the Hebrew Israelites, man. Okay, the 144 first and foremost. These are the real Illuminati on this side. You see to say the act of enlighten, illumination, brightness, bring light, like the true light, the real light of the Lord, right? Now, let's go back and look up the other word, light, in 2 Corinthians 11. Now, you see that said? It said illuminated, right? Now, let's go back. Show you, man, you gotta deal with these words, man. Now, let's get 2 Corinthians chapter 11, 14. Now, watch this. Now, let's read it again. 2 Corinthians 11 and 13. For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light, right? Let's look at this. See this? So like, hold on. Now you see this? This say G. No, I'm sorry. I'm in the wrong spot. Right here. G5457. This is a different one. Look at this.
Strong's G5457. Phos. Phos.
You see this? Now hold on. Both of these is not both of these lights in the New Testament. Look, man. It don't say nothing about illumination. Illuminated. Okay? Look, watch this. It say light, the light, emitted by a lamp, a heavenly light, as such around angels when they appear on earth. It say anything emitting light is star. It's a fire because it is light and sheds light. A lamp or torch. It's a, you see this? This is not the same light that the Lord gave to the Israelites. I'm finna show you. You see this? The power of understanding moral or spiritual truth. It say that which is exposed to the view of all openly, publicly. It's a reason mind, right? Like now it's a luminous, right? It's a natural or artificial, abstract or concrete, literal or figurative light, fire, right? This is not the same light what we just read in 2 Corinthians 4 and 3. Now, let's go back. Let's go back. I'm trying to show you something. Making a point here. This ain't the same light, man. Now, let's go to Hebrews. Watch this. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 10 and 32. Watch this. Oh, man, let me get rid of this. Now, check this out. This Hebrews 10 and 32. Now, look at this. But call to remembrance the former days in which, after ye were illuminated, talking about the Israelites, ye endured a great fight of affliction. Watch this. Let's look at this word illuminated, man. See this? This is the same word that's in 2 Corinthians 4 and 3. When it say in the God of this world have blinded the minds of them, least the light of the Lord shine upon them. See, man, you got to look up these words, man. Look at this. It's the same word that's in 2 Corinthians 4 and 4. Same word.
Strong's G 5461. Photizo. Photizo.
See? This is a total different definition than the one in 2 Corinthians 11, man. They say to give light, to shine, to enlighten, light up, illumine, to bring, to bring the light, right? To bring the elect back to the truth, render evident, to cause something to exist, and thus come to light and become clear to all. To enlighten spiritually, imbued with saving knowledge, to instruct, to inform, teach, to give understanding, to illuminate. You see, we the real Illuminati, man. The real light bearers of the earth, man. You see this? Now hold on. Let's get one more. Let's go to Revelations. I mean, not Revelations. Let's go to Luke. Okay, let's go to Luke 10 and 18. You see that? Both of them. Now the one in 2 Corinthians 11 and the one in 2 Corinthians 4, they both in the New Testament, but both got two different light definitions, man. Showing you these devils don't have no light. They living in darkness, man. That's why their whole job is to vex, accuse, destroy you, and bring down many of you Israelites as possible, man. That's the job of them. Their job is to bring down many Israelites to follow their pernicious ways as possible, man. This is Luke 10:18. Let's look at this. This is Luke 10 and 18. It reads, and he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Just like it said in Isaiah 14 and 12, man. This devil is falling out of his rulership. That's why I say in Isaiah 47 and 1, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Right? Now, go to Satan right here real quick. Let's play this.
Strong's G 4567. Satanas. Satanas.
You see right here?
Thayer's lexicon. Satan.
Cold, man.
Satan.
Now I say right here, adversary, one who opposeth another in purpose or act. What it say in 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4? Who opposeth and exalted himself against all that is called God. You see, adversary, one who opposeth another in purpose or act, the name given to the prince of evil spirits. You see this? Inveterate adversary of God and Hamashiach. He incites apostasy from God and to sin. Ah, it's cold. Nah, just what I wanted to get. I just want to show you that, okay? I just want to show you the different lights. I just want to show you the different lights that's in the same Second Thessalonians chapter 4 and 3 and 11 and 14. And they two different definitions. Because one is talking about false light, the other one talking about true light. You see that? Cold, man. Now this is hey man, at this point, man, if you can't get it, hey, maybe the Lord will give it to you later. Let's get this. This is Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 10. It says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of power that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil, right? Which is what? His trickery, his cunning, his crafty, his conniving, his serpent, subtlety ways, man. It say, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. The spiritual wickedness is Satan himself, man. The spiritual demon is Satan. But he got the powers of this world. He controls because these are his seeds, man. It's against spiritual wickedness in high places, man. So what we are dealing with is the serpent seed line, man. Now, let's get this. This is Revelation chapter 20 and start at verse 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, the father and the seed line, and bound him 1,000 years. This 1,000 years is called it's called the Byzantine Empire. It's called the time of the Moors. It's called the Dark Ages. Some call it the Middle Ages. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, which is Europe, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. Now, this 1,000 years, when they were shut up, this wasn't during the time of the Byzantine Empire. This was the time that so-called Negroes was controlling the earth, okay, for 1,000 years. Now, let's read verse. It say again, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. So, Apostle Hart made mention of it today in the lesson he did. He was like, when you go into Revelation 20, you got to make mention of King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella and the Roman Catholic institution, man. Okay, because this started the iconoclasm, which is whitewashing, and this is the new beginning of the Renaissance era, man, which is rebirth of the so-called white man coming out of the caves. Okay, now let's read it again, verse 3. And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up. Hey, because Queen Ferdinand and Queen Isabella was the one that funded Christopher Columbus and Amerigo Vespucci to come on this side of the world, man. Okay, they got funded from Queen Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. It say, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. So after after the 1,000 years of Jake ruling the earth, or the known world, I should say, this is verse 7. Revelation 20 and 7. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan should be loosed out of his prison, meaning his seed line, Because the spiritual demon Satan is still up there on the left-hand side of the Lord, man. Okay? It tell you that, and we just read in Job 2, Job 1 and 2, man. And when you go to Second Thessalonians 2, when you go to Second Thessalonians 18 and 18, it tell you there's righteous angels on the right-hand side of the Lord, and there's left-hand side angels on the left-hand side. All the hosts of heaven, man. Satan is the first wicked angel on the left-hand side, man. Okay? It's saying when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison and shall go out to the sea of the nations, which they did. With what? Iconoclasm, the whitewashing. They go back to Job 9 and 24. The earth was given to the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges. If not, where and who is he that did it? It is saying the so-called white man didn't cover the faces of the judges. Who did it? The Chinese didn't do it. They worship their own God. They ain't care about Israelites. They ain't care about making King David look like a Chinese. Or the Japanese didn't care about making King David look like a Japanese. No, it was the so-called white man that wanted to take out the judges of the earth, their images. That was left, the images that Negroes left during the 1,000-year reign, man. We had images all around the world. Hey, the apostles always bring it out, man. Go get the book. You can go look and you ain't got to get it. You can go to Google and turn the pages and see. It's called what's the book called? Man, I done lost train of thought of the book. Hey, Nahoy, what's the name of the book? Man, the apostles they cost like a few $100s now, man. I forgot the name of the book. Man, it got all the Jakes in. Oh, the Russian icons. The water Yahba, Kala Yahba Shemal Shah. Russian icons. You can go to Google or you can go buy it, man. Go to Amazon and buy it. It's good to have it, man, to show people. The Russian icons, man. It's all Jakes in that book, man. All Jakes, man. Okay? So, and when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison and shall go out to the sea of the nations. Satan can't do this by himself. He needs physical seeds on earth. Hey, let me tell you something. The same way how Yahweh reads, when you read Amos 3 and 7, when they say, surely the Lord would do nothing, but he revealed his secrets unto his servants the prophets, right? The Lord, on the left-hand side of the energy, on his left-hand side, let Satan has a physical seed that have to play out his acts on earth, man. The same way how the Lord and Satan had a bet in the book of Job, because Job represented the Israelites. Job represented the righteous Israelites, the elect, that was going to go through trials and tribulations that the Lord was going to put on them, but they was going to overcome it, man, through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah, right? That was Job represented, man, the elect of Israel going through trials and tribulations and not breaking, okay? Yeah, Khan, I got it, yeah. He can't, yeah, the Russian icon, he can't do nothing without the Lord. So at the Lord say, okay, I'm going to let you go down there and do what you do, right? But don't kill him. What that show you? The Lord is in full power. He's in total control of this devil. Satan just a pit bull on a leash, waiting for the Lord to let him loose to run wild and do what he do, man. That's why I said First Peter 5 and 8, man. He's like a roaring lion, right? It's saying he shall go out to the sea of the nations, which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle. Why I say Gog and Magog? Because this defeat of the battle, man. When you read it, was Revelation 12, man. It said the head was like a leopard and the feet were like a bear, right? The empire of so-called white man started with Alexander the Great, and it's going to end with the Russians, man. Period. So, and he shall go out to the sea of the nations, which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is at the center of the sea. So this devil was loosed, right, in the mid 1300s, 1400s, and started their Renaissance art, iconoclasm, whitewashing, the rebirth of them coming back into power, and his job was to deceive the earth. That's why I said Second Corinthians 4 and 3, and who the God of this world have blinded the minds of them that believe not, man. So you see, so let me see. All right, let me get some of you brother precepts, man. That should be the point. Oh, I want to read one more precept. This is Psalms chapter 10. Let's read this. The wicked, this Psalm 10 and 2. The wicked in his pride do persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasts of his heart's desire, and blessed the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. You see, they is total opposite. They oppose of everything against Yahweh Shema Shai. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As far as all his enemies, he puffeth at them. Right? That's why I said all the nations gonna turn against this devil, man. We read in Isaiah 14. They shall say, thou become weak as we, right? It say, he has said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In secret places doeth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor, which is the righteous. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. He croucheth and humble himself, just like it said in Ecclesiastes 12 and 10. He croucheth and humble himself that the poor may fall by his strong ones. These devils is total opposite. Hold on, I gotta get another one. This is Job 21 and 13. And it reads, they spend their days in wealth, and in a moment go down to the grave. Therefore, they say unto God, depart from us, for we desire not the knowledge of thy ways. What is the Almighty that we should serve him? And what profit should we have if we pray unto him? That's when you go in Wisdom of Solomon 2. They say that end is not like ours, man, and they know it because they know that their lot is wickedness, man. Their job is to be the wicked of the earth, man. So let me get some of you brother precepts. Hey, cause this is it's amazing. This is a heavy topic, man. This is Kazak Banyahawda put up Ecclesiastes 10 and 19. They that fear the Lord are a sure seed, and they that love him an honorable plant. They that regard not the law are a dishonorable seed. They that transgress the commandments are a deceivable seed. That's cold, Lord. You see that? Isaiah 24 and 5 and 6. They transgressed the laws. They changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. It just said, they that do this, it said they that transgress the commandments are a deceivable seed. Revelation 20 said it. Their job was to deceive the nations, which are in the four quarters of the earth in the last days, man. So, when the time this devil came back into power in the mid 1400s, that was the beginning of the last days, man. You see? That was the beginning of the last days because it was time for them devils to deceive the planet, man. Hey, because when the Lord say in Ezekiel 37, right? He woke up though. He said, these bones are the whole house of Israel, right? Some got the flesh, some got the flesh and the breath, man. So this is a new race. This is a new race we running. This ain't the. That's why I say it's gonna be no more be said in Jeremiah 16, right? Because this is a new race. Everybody can't get saved, man. Everybody ain't gonna make it on this side. Not like when you came out of Egypt. And what's cold about that, when you read about Egypt, when we came out of Egypt, everybody didn't make it to the land of Israel, man. You see that? Everybody didn't make it to the land of Israel. The Lord got it. He said everybody out of there. And that's the difference now, man. Everybody ain't gonna be saved, man. He said everybody out of Egypt got them in the wilderness and were knocking them off left and right, man. Why? Because they want to go back to Egypt. That's the same ones today that love Egyptology, man. Okay, everybody ain't make it. Everybody ain't make it to the promised land. When you read it in Numbers, it tell you that everybody that was 20 years and younger made it to the land of Israel with Joshua and Caleb. Everybody that was 20 years and older, they got put to death, man. They got put to death. So everybody ain't gonna make it out of here, man. Hey, that's the valley of dry bones, man. Some got the spirit and the flesh. Some just got the flesh. And you got a lot of, I'm talking about a lot of camps. All they teaching you is you Israelite. That's the flesh that the Lord put on you. In Ezekiel 37. You got the flesh. I mean, you're an Israelite. Repent. You're an Israelite. Hey, you got to follow the laws, statute, and commandments to the best of your ability. Hey, y'all Israelites. Y'all kings and princesses. You ain't telling about the prophecies. He ain't telling that Jacob trouble coming. Hey, so that's that separation, man. Let's see. Yeah, here's another one. Let's read this. Let's read this. This is our Kazak Bunyan Howder. First Maccabees 3 and 48. And lay open the book of the law, wherein the heathen has sought to paint the likeness of their images. And this is what they did. We just read it in Revelation 20. Their job was to see the earth, man. Through what? Iconoclasm, whitewashing, man. That deceived the planet, man. Because right now, Jake's so bugged out right now, they can't see themselves living without Jesus Christos, man. Okay? as the beloved brother I'm a one our bar say, Jeebus, man. They can't live without Jeebus, man. That's how bad plantation Christianity has destroyed our people, man. Jake came up one week and said, well, we got horns on Jesus. What? Who told you that was Jesus? Who told you that? I got an image I be using in my folder. I ain't used it in a while though. Some videos I had did back in 2018. And it got this Edomite with a whip, right? And he's standing over this Jake and he beating him with a whip. And the Jake on the ground like this, and the Edomite beat him. He's saying, say his name. Say it. Say his name, Jesus, and say that he love you. It's an image I got. Yeah, man, I might have to do a lesson on it. They beat, man, listen, they literally beat Jesus Christos into us at the plantation, man. And you know something else? They beat us and made us go to church. And if you didn't go to church, they beat you, man. And they made you a public example in front of the other Israelites that was on the plantation, man. And they made us go to church, man. Before we got on those slave ships, the main one of them was the good ship Jesus. Nobody went to no damn holiday houses, man. We was in the marketplaces, in the agora, pushing truth, man. This is let's see. Hey, the water, everybody tuning in, man. The water, man. This is this is I'm trying to see real quick. This is let's get this. Kazak Banya Howdah. This is Psalm 50 and 16. And it reads, but unto the wicked power saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldst take my covenant in thy mouth? Now, if you understand this, they have no reason putting their hands on this Bible. Let's read this. That's a good precept to always build off. This is Leviticus 26 and 46. And as I went into which we always do, Romans 11, right? Romans 9. Romans 9 and 7 say they are not all Israel, which even though because a lot of people love to say we are Abraham's seed. And if you understand about genealogy in Genesis 10, the Moabites and the Ammonites, which are today the Chinese and Japanese, they didn't come from Abraham, man. They came from Lot. Okay? They came from Lot. So we all doesn't come from Abraham, man. Now, as it say, matter of fact, let me read this, then I'm gonna get that. Just making a point, man. Hey, because I always knew brothers and sisters waking up to the truth, and they need to hear this, man. This is Romans 9 and 6. It say, not as though the word of God have taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel. This is Paul talking to only Israelites and saying, even though they're Israelites, all Israelites ain't gonna make it. This is what Paul is saying. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children. Paul telling you right here, everybody is not all Abraham's seed. And if you come from Abraham, you are still not the chosen. Listen, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. This is they which are the children of the flesh. These are not the children of God, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. There's only one that's only out of the 18 nations that the Lord created. There's only one nation of people that are the chosen people that is counted for the promise, man. One. And it's the 12 tribes of Israel. You so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians are the Hebrew Israelites. You are the chosen, but not all Israel gonna be saved. Now, this is Leviticus 26 and 46. Lay back in this off the brother precept right here, Psalm 50 and 16. This is Leviticus 26 and 46. These are the statutes and judgments and laws which the Lord Yahweh made between him and the children of Israel in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses. If you wasn't there with the children of Israel in Mount Sinai, when the Lord gave Moses, hey, in Exodus 24, when the Lord had Moses sprinkle the blood on Israel, if you wasn't there, this is not for you, man. Psalm 50 and 16. But unto the wicked, power saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? That's why Isaiah 24 and 5 said, what? He transgressed the laws, changed the ordinances, broken the everlasting covenant. What did you say right here? Or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth. Your job is to be the wicked of the earth. You had nothing to do with this Bible. Seeing that thou hatest instructions and casting my words behind thee. And if any brother know when I do my video, when I go into this, when it says, seeing thou hatest instructions and casteth my words behind thee. What is the Lord talking about right here? When Isaac told Esau, don't go get a wife from Canaan, what did he do? He went and got two women from Canaan. Right or wrong? You can go read it. You can go read it. It's in Genesis. Go read it. Seeing thou hatest instructions and casting my words behind thee. So let's deal with one part. Seeing thou hatest instructions. His father gave him an order not to deal with Canaanite women. He went and got one anyway, right? Now, let's deal with and casting my words behind thee. They passed bestiality laws. Who did? Was it the Chinese? Was it the Japanese? Was it the Arabs? Was it the Iranians, the Persians? Who passed bestiality laws? Who did? Don't worry, we'll wait. It's the so-called white man. Who gave LGBTQP rights, transformer rights? Who did that? Don't worry, we'll wait. Right? He cast the words of the Lord behind him, man. When you go into the courts, let's get this. This is let me see, what is it? James. Is it 2 and 15? What verse is it been a minute since I brought it out. It ain't fresh on me. Is it 5? I think it is. When he say let your yeah be yeah and your no be no, what is that? Right here. This is James 2, just James 5 and 12. It say, but above all things, my brethren, swear not. This is the point I'm making. When you go into court, right? What they make you do? They make you swear in on the Bible, right? This is another form of this devil hating instructions and casting the words of the Lord behind them, man. Right? James 5 and 12. But above all things, my brethren, swear not, neither by heaven, neither by the earth, neither by any other oath, but let your yea be yea and your nay be nay, lest ye fall into condemnation. Why do Jake say, I swear on my mama, I swear to God, I swear on my little baby life? They get that from you dog and that fool Stacy. They got that from Esau Edom, man. Because Proverbs 3 and 31 say what? Envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. What did Jake do? They chose all the ways of the oppressor. That's Jeremiah 5 and 28. Among my men, among my people, I found wicked men, right? They lay snares, they set traps, right? They surpass the deeds of the wicked. Who's doing this? They ain't man. Jake ain't learning the ways of the Chinese, right? They're not learning the ways of the so-called Japanese or the Elamites or the Ishmaelites. They are taking the ways of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. This is plain, man. It's plain. These devils, man. So they hate. They done created bestiality laws, transformer laws. Oh, the Gad and Reuben showed them how to cultivate the land, irrigation system, let the land rest. They showed them the land Sabbath, showed them all that. What do they do? Rape, rob, murder, pillage, and plunder, and do it a total different way. And their ways have resulted in what? Nothing but death and destruction and food with no nutrients in it, man. Contaminated waters, man. These devils, man. These devils. And it's like the Yashala. 1 John 2 and 18. This is another cold topic. Jake bugged out talking about the Antichrist. You've been watching Damien too much, man. You Jakes out there in the world been watching Damien too much, man. Little children, here's the last time. And as ye have heard, the Antichrist shall come. Even now are there many antichrists. They go back. Oh, beautiful brother. Can they go back to 2 Corinthians 11:14? His angels, his ministers have transformed themselves into the light, as he did, as Satan did, right? Because there's many antichrists. And also, anybody that's against this truth of Yahweh, the Heavenly Father Hebrew name, and Yahweh Shah, his only begotten son Hebrew name, if you against this, you are an antichrist, man. You want to keep calling on sweet Jeebus and God Almighty? Well, you go right on ahead, man. Because the Lord and his son have a name. And if you are not using the name, you are an antichrist, man. It say, little children is the last time, and as ye have heard, the antichrist shall come. Even now are there many antichrists. And there's other scriptures on this. It's one in First John 5, 1 John chapter 4. It say, even now are there many antichrists, whereby we know that it is the last time. As a matter of fact, thus saith the Lord. This is 1 John 4 and 1, and it reads, Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. Hereby know ye the spirit of power. Every spirit that confesseth that Yahweh Shah Mashiach is come in the flesh is of power. Hey, and the Lord called right there, because when you read this, you be like, okay, people saying they believe in Jesus. Yeah, what color was he? Oh, color doesn't matter. Your ass is an antichrist, you damn demons. Hereby know ye that the spirit of power, every spirit that confesseth that Yahweh Shah Mashiach is come in the flesh is of power. And every spirit that confesseth not that Yahweh Shah Mashiach is come in the flesh is not of power. And this is that spirit of Antichrist, whereof ye have heard that it shall come, and even now already is in the world. We just get Edomites come up all the time. Well, allegedly Edomites, and they look at the sun. They say one chick told us, oh, it doesn't tell you what color he is in the Bible. Well, where the hell you get that image from? If the Bible don't tell you, hey, these devils be hurt. If the Bible don't tell you what color the Messiah is, where do we get this image from then? Don't worry, we'll wait. Somebody tell me where the image came from if the Bible don't tell you. Then we tell the person, we told them it is in the Bible. They said, well, could you read it? We want to hear it. When we bring it out, what does they say? Oh, color doesn't matter. Oh, now color don't matter because now you found that the Messiah is a so-called black man from the tribe of Judah. Now it don't matter. You an antichrist, man. And there's many antichrists on the planet, man. So, the water for tuning in. May Yahweh Shema shall continue to bless you in your houses. Stay prayed up. Let me see. I want to check these precepts before I close out. This is another good one. In his likeness, Yasharallah, Proverbs 29 and 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Hey, and when I brought out First Maccabees, right? When it said right here, the brother got on the comment board. Let's read it. Let's read it. I want to make this point before I close. Because it's also in Proverbs 29. It say First Maccabees 1, 7 and 8, because I bring Yahweh. Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bare rule everyone in his place. You see this? So the brother put right here. I'm gonna show you how the Proverbs, show you how Proverbs 29 link perfectly with First Maccabees 1. This is Proverbs 29 and 2 again. When the righteous are authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. What did it just say right here? Because I'll bring you out again. First Maccabees 1 and 7. Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bear rule everyone in his place. Right? Now, let's get verse 9. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So their sons after them many years, and evils, this is my point, and evils were multiplied in the earth. Watch this. Hold on. Proverbs, Proverbs 29 linked perfectly with First Maccabees 1. This is Proverbs 29, I think it's verse 16. Listen to this. Proverbs 29 and 16 link perfectly, man, with First Maccabees. When the wicked are multiplied, transgressions increase, but the righteous shall see their fall. You see this? You see this? And after his death, they put crowns upon themselves, so that the sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. That's my point. Multiplied. That's a buzzword. Proverbs 29 and 16. When the wicked are what? Buzzword, multiplied. Transgressions increase, but the righteous shall see their fall. You see that? Precept on precept, man. Precept on precept on precept. Proverbs 29 linked perfectly with First Maccabees, man. So, Lord willing, is edifying. Lord willing, if the brother watched the video, he was edified. Lord willing, you Akwafu edified. Okay, give all praise and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rikak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether they can accept it or not. And a sincere salutation to all the Akim, pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waiting on the hope for the elect. And shalom to the Akwath who are listening and learning. The few sisters who are listening and learning. Lord willingness edifying. Hey, also, you know what? This is just a little side precept. Listen to this. Now, this is when you read Numbers. Let's see. Let me proof this real quick. Salakia. I think it's Numbers 20. Let me make sure. Okay, so right. So this Numbers 20 and 14. And Moses sent messengers from Kadesh unto the king of Edom. Thus saith thy brother Israel, thou knowest all the travail that have befallen us, how our fathers went down into Egypt, and we have dwelt in Egypt a long time. And the Egyptians vexed us and our fathers. And when we carried, it said, when we cried unto the Lord Yahweh, he heard our voice and sent an angel and have brought us forth out of Egypt, and behold, we are in Kadesh, a city in the utmost of thy border, right? Let us pass, I pray thee, through thy country. I'm making a point. Just follow me for a second. It said, we will not pass through the fields or go through thy vineyards. Neither will we drink of the water of the wells. We will go by the king's highway. We will not turn to the right hand nor to the left. This is the letter that Moses sent to the king of Edom so we can pass through. Because we were going to the promised land. Okay? We trying to get to the promised land. It say, until we have passed thy borders. And Edom said unto him, thou shalt not pass by me, lest I come out against thee with the sword. Right? That's their blessing. Verse 19. And the children of Israel said unto him, we will go by the highway, and if I and my cattle drink of thy water, then I will pay for it. I will only, without doing anything else, go through on my feet. And he said, thou shalt not go through. And Edom came out against him with much people and with a strong hand. Thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through his border, wherefore Israel turned away from him. Here's a precept. This is Job chapter 15 and verse 22. It's a precept to Numbers chapter 20. Listen to this. This Job 15 and 22. So like Job 15 and 19. It reads, unto whom alone the earth was given. Right? Job 9 and 24. We still in Job. That's why I can't understand how these people talking about Job was an Edomite. How? When he was straight up cutting Edomites. Come on, man. Tell you Job, in Job 1 day, he sacrificed to the Lord for his kids when they sacrificed on their birthdays. You can't, only people that can worship Yahweh Shema Shah is Israelites. So, again, Job 15 and 19, precept into Numbers, that Esau won't let us pass through their country, right? Unto whom alone the earth was given, and no stranger passed among them. You see that? Though we was brothers, we are strangers. They won't let us pass through. Job is quoting the precept from Numbers, man. Unto whom alone the earth was given, and no stranger passed among them. They called us strangers, but they want to join the Moab and Ammon to take us down. You see? Hey, these is the wicked of the earth, man. These devils. I just want to read that. The Spirit just jumped on me to bring that out. Hey, so Lord witness edifying. Till next time I say shalom, the while for tuning in. May Yahweh Shema shall continue to bless you in your houses. Stay prayed up. Hey, the water for all your precepts. The water for all the precepts, man. Shalom.